Stonington Gray by Benjamin Moore is one of the most popular grays that we are seeing today. In this video, I'm going to compare the popular Stonington Gray to some other Benjamin Moore grays. I'm also going to share with you what the best white is for trim and ceiling color to use with Stonington Gray, as well as some fabric palettes that you can put together and where it just looks stunning. So let's do this. Stonington Gray has got a blue undertone to it. So it is a slight blue. It's not quite as blue as others. I have found that sometimes if people say, you know, that's a little bit too gray for me, what I love to do is I love to compare. My color consultations are all about comparing. So let's just have a look. So sometimes if someone says it's a little bit too dark, I think, and I say, well, let's compare it to Storm. This is also a Benjamin Moore color. And then they say, oh yeah, no, it doesn't look so dark now. And then the other edge of the spectrum is, let's say, Wickham Gray. So you could show Wickham Gray, and if some people say, hey, that's a little bit too blue for me, whoops. If they say that's a little bit too blue-green for me, then I say, okay, well then we could look at Stonington Gray. So what are some of the best trim colors to use? So the best whites that I like to use with Stonington Gray, number one is the famous Cloud White. So I have used this here. You will see it in the client's front foyer where we use Stonington Gray on the walls, and we did a beautiful wainscoting all in Cloud White, as well as the baseboards and the trim. The other color that you could use is a Simply White. That looks really nice with Stonington Gray as well. And both Simply White and Cloud White are a little bit more on the creamy side. You can see that Cloud White is a little more creamier than Simply White, but you could use both. But if you want a little bit more of a crisper look, the Simply White is the way to go. And if you want to take it up one more notch even, you could use Snowfall White. So there you can see the three different whites that I'm recommending. And this one here is the more crisp, more modern look that it's going to give you if you are looking for that sort of contrast. But all will work. Just depends, again, what else you have going in other rooms, because the trim runs pretty much throughout the whole entire house. So that's really important to take into consideration as well. One of my favorite fabric books to take to initial consultations, if I'm just trying to feel out a client and trying to understand what they like in terms of florals, stripes, and different colors, I take my Sarah Richardson Cravat book. I just love this book, and I'm going to show you how fabulous Stonington Gray can work with quite a few of the colors that are in here. So here you can see that it's pulling out that gray. It may not be perfectly, but it still works really well. Again, because it's also got that blue undertone to it. So looking really stunning with that. You can see it here where we've got the muted yellows and grays. Just looks beautiful. And again, this is more of a cream. So this is what I was talking about with your trim. You may want to go with a Cloud White or a Simply White as opposed to the Snowfall White, which is going to be more crisp. So it all depends. Your paint colors always come last, and your trim color as well. So just make a note that depending on your fabrics, more creamy, more stark, that's going to also help dictate what your trim color is going to be. Here it is again with the paisley that Sarah has in one of her books. And we actually use this in a client's kitchen. This is again the same book, and you can see it's got little bits of gray in it, which is where we pulled out from the Stonington Gray. And we used it here in this kitchen banquette, just with a dark slate charcoal cover for the bench seat, and also with all of the other oranges and the whites that we have going on. Just looks really beautiful. Again, gray is a perfect neutral for all of these bright pops of color. So Stonington Gray works really well. So there you go, there's Stonington Gray. I've done a lot of other videos on Benjamin Moore colors, and if you want to go check those out on my YouTube channel. Also subscribe, I'm here every Wednesday. I'd love to see you. And if you want to check out my website, it's www.creatingcontrastdesigns.com. I know it's a mouthful, but I'm gonna add a link here. All you gotta do is click the button. Go check out what I do. See you next time. Did you like it? I'll see you though next Wednesday when this is Sarah Richardson by Cravat. That's a total lie. It's blue gray.